Thank you, Mr. Downs. And thank you, Bob, for sharing that story. A big thank you to all of our special guests for joining us this evening. You'll see them in the first row. To Herb Schultz, class of 1963, and Bill and Kathy Stanton in particular for their support of this great program. With this year's core value of focus being service, the MillbrookEngage program seems extra relevant this year. And it has grown significantly since its inception in 2016, with this year's group being the largest in the program's history. Each fall, our office has had the opportunity to talk with MillbrookEngage, people who are interested in MillbrookEngage with our fifth form students. And after that meeting about a year ago now, our students quickly shared their enthusiasm for the program and its mission, with 20 students applying to participate. The 13 students before you all brought on civis and cunctus to new regions, including Colorado and Vietnam, as well as to new not-for-profit interests. It was a busy summer for these students, with over 1,500 hours of total service completed. They worked hard to better their communities through supporting initiatives to bring equal access to educational programming to underserved populations, to support female empowerment. They worked in healthcare settings, and they coached underserved youth, and so much more. It has been a true privilege to support them in their service-centered pursuits, and I'm deeply excited for everyone here today to learn about their various and meaningful internship experiences. So without delaying further, we're going to jump right into our Chapel Talk program, and the format will be a panel style, so please hold your applause until the end. So to start, could each of you please share the following information with our audience? Your name, the organization that you worked for, the location of your organization, the goal of that organization, and how you supported that goal.
Hello, my name is Jalen Thatcher, and this summer I worked at a basketball training facility in Poughkeepsie, New York. And there I worked as an assistant, helping out with whatever needed to be done, and yeah.
Hi, I'm Declan Allen. I worked at North Shore Animal League this summer, dog shelter in Long Island, and I helped the adoption process.
Hey everyone, I'm Freddie Hamilton. I worked at Colorado Youth for a Change in downtown Denver, Colorado. There I did a lot of data analysis as well as fundraising, all with the goal of dropping the dropout rate to 0.
Hi, my name is Evelyn Najork, and this summer I worked with Operation Smile. Their headquarters in America is in Virginia, so I worked remotely. Their goal is to provide free and accessible dental care all across the globe, and I worked with the volunteer service management team.
Hello, my name is Pearson. I worked for South Bronx United in the Bronx in New York City, and they serve an underserved community in the Bronx through soccer as well as some educational opportunities as well. And last part?
I think you hit it.
I hit it? Okay.
Well done, Pearson.
Appreciate it.
My name is Revel Fawn. I worked for a nonprofit organization based in Vietnam called Pacific Links, and the primary focus was based on preventing human trafficking, and I worked on tutoring girls and working on the social media pages.
Hi, my name is Chelsea Sinclair. This summer I worked at the Northeast Community Center in Millerton, New York, and the Northeast Community Center works to just help residents of Dutchess County who are in need, and I was their business and admin intern this summer.
Hi everyone, I'm Lily Herman. This summer I worked at the Trevor Zoo right here at Millbrook School. I helped with husbandry, as well as forming the foundation for my independent science research project that I'll be carrying out this year.
Hello everyone, I'm Precious Young. This summer I worked with Just for Success, based in New Jersey. Their goal is to empower women to achieve economic independence. I mostly work with administrative tasks. I did a lot of marketing and data entry.
Hi, my name is Anya Rule. This summer I worked at Barrett Arts Center, which is in Poughkeepsie, New York. Their goal is to find and help local artists and put their work up in exhibitions, and this summer I helped set up and curate some of this work.
Hi, my name is Olivia Busco. This summer I worked at the Carey Institute right over in Millbrook, New York. Their main goal is to better the environment, specifically in Dutchess County, and I helped do that through their white-tailed deer project.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Rodeo. I worked as a hospital volunteer this summer at New York Presbyterian in New York City. I helped to support the patients emotionally and helped the nurses with general tasks.
Hi everyone, my name is Elijah Grant Pereira. I worked at the Arts Alliance of Stratford this summer. It's based in Stratford, Connecticut, and the goal of the organization is to support and promote local artistry. When I was there, I worked on a journalism project, worked at a music festival, and helped with any other administrative needs.
Thanks, everyone. So this next question is for Freddie and Elijah. Why do you do service, and has your opinion of service changed at all as a result of your experience this past summer?
Hey everyone, I think I, just like everybody up here, does service, and especially at Millbrook does service. One, because it's the right thing to do, and two, because we all have the power here to help the people around us. And part of the way my opinion has changed about service was having this opportunity to go back to my hometown and see the public schools in Colorado and see the state that they're in. And from that, I realized the true blessing it is to go to Millbrook School. We all have so many people here that are supporting us, having our backs, and in the end of the day, helping us get to the next level, helping us get to college. And a lot of students around the country don't have that. And that's something we have to realize and take that and then apply it to the rest of our lives and apply it to helping others.
Freddie?
So for me, I'd say my service was definitely driven by a passion for what I was doing. When I was first looking into the MillbrookEngage internship, I knew I wanted to do something in the arts because that's something that I'm passionate about. So I looked at something and I found something, and it was just really nice because it proved to me that service isn't this one-way exchange where you're just providing something for somebody else. You know, you get something back. If they can have something from me that makes me excited to help other people and look for new ways to do whatever, and I'm also helping them out, and I think that's what service really is to me.
All right, Chelsea and Anya, can you tell us a little bit about why there's a need for your respective organizations, and what does your organization do to help serve this need?
At the community center, they help everyone in Dutchess County with the needs they face in food, clothing, rent, and school supplies. So, what is the second part?
What does your organization do to help serve the need, to help fix the problem?
So they have fundraisers, write grants, and just help get people what they need in the area, like rent, food, clothing, school supplies, stuff like that.
So at Barrett, their main mission is to help curate local artists and aspiring artists. So it's kind of a two-way street with them because not only does Barrett help the community because they have a junior artifact where young children can learn and do more about art. They also have a volunteer service that helps bring the entire community of Poughkeepsie together. It also helps curate artists, not just in Poughkeepsie, but across the United States, and help them get their work out there and show what they can do. So I think it's good because it gives artists, a chance to get out there. So.
Precious, Declan, Rebel, and Pearson, what do you perceive as the underlying issue that's causing the need at the organizations that you served? Why does it exist?
I worked for Dress for Success, which provides help with social and professional skills to find jobs for women. The underlying issue, I think, was poverty. And a lot of times when people think of poverty, they think about throwing money at it, they think about short-term solutions. I think what Dress for Success does successfully is give women skills that will last them a long time. I think that's what's important about Dress for Success, and that's why there's a need in that gap. for long-term solutions?
At North Shore Animal League, I would say the biggest need for it is there's a lot of puppy mills down south that are overbreeding dogs, causing like an overpopulation that needs to be fit. So places like North Shore Animal League that are no-kill take these dogs in when they would be euthanized otherwise. But the issue with that is there's not enough places like this. So.
For me, there were two kind of underlying issues. The first was just the location that the girls were living in. So the girls that I was tutoring lived like close to the Vietnam-Chinese border, which made them more susceptible to being trafficked. And I think the second problem was just this misunderstanding of education for girls. I feel like, at least in Southeast Asia or in third world countries, it's kind of more typical to see that girls aren't given the opportunity to be educated, and obviously that's a big problem. So.
Kind of similar to Precious, I would say one of the issues is poverty, but more specifically it's kind of a New York City culture thing. I played soccer in New York City, obviously, because I'm from Brooklyn. And I would say the culture is kind of pay to play in the sense that for a lot of players, in order to play at a competitive level, kind of have to pay to be on those teams. And so I think that was a great thing about SBU, is that they gave kids a chance in the South Bronx, not only the opportunity and the safe space to play soccer, but also gave them educational opportunities, gave resources for new immigrants that were on the team. So yeah.
Chelsea and Precious, what do you think you can do with the knowledge that you gained from your experience to promote change, both on campus and beyond?
So at the center, they do a lot of work just for the widespread Dutchess County community, and I think if I can just help people understand how big the need really is in our own community, it will be able to make a difference for the center.
The knowledge that I gained from working for Justice Success is that you don't always need money to make change. You can provide people skills that will last them a long time, and that's what really is valuable to most people.
Elijah, Caitlin, and Olivia, did your experience at Millbrook help prepare you in any way for the experience you had this past summer?
For me, going to kind of like a journalism space, it definitely did. You know, I was really surprised at how much I found when I was writing an article, that I was treating it like an uber perfect paragraph or a 5-cent sermon or something like that. You know, and that includes the procrastination part. But other than that, you know, kind of working for yourself and trying to be self-motivated for your work and doing a good job really transferred over from the workload at Millbrook to my real job.
Hi, I'm the hostel volunteer. I credit the peer counselor program here so much for preparing me for my internship. I saw so much overlap in the conversations that I was having with patients and the training that I received from Mr. Tom and Ms. Stanton. Without that, I would not have been nearly as prepared, so I owe it to them.
So my job or my internship this summer was done remotely, so a lot of it consisted of sitting at a computer for a while. But a lot of that time needed to be organized because I had basically free range of my whole schedule. And being at Millbrook, where you know everything's planned out for you from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., helped me a lot in terms of scheduling. And then, as well as like being here at the zoo and being like surrounded by a lot of wildlife and everything, that helped me as well prepare for all the stuff that I got this summer.
Evelyn, Caitlin, Precious, and Lily, has your opinion of the issues that your organization served changed or been affirmed in any way because of the experience you had this past summer?
I went into my internship simply because I wanted to be a dentist when I grew up, working in the dental field. So I'd say my experience taught me a lot about the issues Operation Smile deals with. And there's lack of access to dental care Even in America, a lot of healthcare providers and plans don't include dental plans. There are separate dental policies that you can purchase. But I think Operation Smile really educated me and allowed me to form my own opinions.
My opinion definitely changed after my internship. I spent a lot of time with patients, and I realized how isolating the hospital can be. And I think that I realized how that can take a toll on patients' mental health. And I think that for an institution that's so focused on the health and well-being of patients, mental health is often very overlooked.
So I went into this internship because I love animals. I came out of this internship loving animals. So I think this was like a really great way for me to spend my time and gain experience in a more professional setting. And I'd say this internship definitely reaffirmed my beliefs.
Precious needs a mic.
I think this internship reaffirmed my beliefs of like the needs that were needed through this organization. When I was working at Dress for Success, one thing that I noticed was that a lot of the clients were immigrants. Coming from an immigrant family, I know it's hard to find jobs and find resources when you don't necessarily understand the culture behind America and how the working system works. I knew that there was a gap, and even though Dress for Success doesn't directly solve the issues with immigrants, I think it's important that they do help immigrants with finding jobs and helping them attain social skills. And I'm just glad to be a part of an organization that's able to help immigrants.
Pearson, Revel, and Jalen. Tell us a little bit about how your life is different or similar to that of the people that you and your respective organizations served.
Okay, so I was teaching sixth graders at SBU, and I would say that a similarity was that I kind of cared more about soccer in school at that point. I could tell around like 2 hours after teaching math, they would just start like jumping up and down, and by the time we get to practice, I'd kind of be tired already, kind of be just screaming in my ear. But yeah, I really cared about soccer, and I was trying to teach them the value of education, and so kind of saw myself within them. But one difference is that I had more opportunities to do certain things when I was growing up, excuse me. Like Freddie said, it's a great opportunity to be at Millbrook, and so some of those students will never get a chance like that. And I'm just really grateful to be here, but also really grateful to serve those kids and hope that they have greater opportunities in the future.
In many ways, I felt very connected to the people I worked with in the sense that, so a lot of people don't know this, but my parents are Vietnamese immigrants, so I just felt a deep connection to the people I was working with, but at the same time, obviously, it was very different and a lot. There was a kind of a barrier because, I mean, I grew up on the Upper East Side and they grew up in some farm in Vietnam. It's obviously very different. But yeah, I mean, when I was tutoring them, it was very clear that like things that I thought were so ordinary, like my room, like having a TV or like a lofted bed, was just something that was just so special and like cool, different.
I definitely had a lot of similarities with the kids that I was working with. I worked at Edge Athletics, which is a basketball training facility, as I said, and they grew up in the Hudson Valley. I've grown up in the Hudson Valley my whole life. I went to tons of training facilities similar to it, so that's where our similarities are. But the differences lie in the fact that some of them come from different economic backgrounds than me. Not all of them have had the same opportunities as I have, and going to that basketball facility and seeing everyone train together and work together and really focus on basketball for 8 hours a day, just really training and putting in work, was really special to me, especially because there was a program that we had that was later at night, which involved the best of the best in the area. The best athletes would come and try as hard as they could in front of college athletes to try and get to a college that they wanted to get into. And I thought that was really cool, seeing kids work for 4 hours straight, just grinding as hard as they could to be the best person they are.
Declan, Lily, and Anya, what challenges do your respective organizations face in living by their missions and achieving their goals?
Personally, this summer I saw the biggest challenge being finding the fit homes for a lot of these animals, because there are many restrictions, whether you have kids that are too young or your fences aren't high enough. So even though we want to get those animals into homes as fast as we can, a lot of places just can't take them. So I'd say that's probably the biggest issue.
I would say one of the biggest challenges the zoo has had was during COVID. We couldn't accommodate a lot of visitors, but you know, they're back now. But I think another challenge is making sure that the zoo provides the animals that live there with a very meaningful life. But I want to emphasize that they do meet that goal, and I hope that with my research that I can add to that. I'm working to see if music can be used as a legitimate form of enrichment for our lemur species here. And I'm very privileged to have the opportunity to add to what the zoo does.
So similar to Lily, COVID really hit Barrett, because not only was, first of all, we weren't allowed to have any visitors or any artists come in and show their work. So it really just hit Barrett's money situation pretty hard, because no one was allowed to come in. And also it hurt artists themselves, because since they couldn't sell their work or showcase it, they didn't want to make anything in the first place. But Barrett's mission, like I said, they're trying to change that, turn that around, and really try to get artists back into trying to sell their work and give them more motivation to do what they love.
Evelyn, Olivia, and Freddie, how are you different or the same as a result of this experience? What did you learn about yourself?
I think I've learned a lot about myself during this experience, especially I struggled in the beginning with managing my time, but not in the way you're thinking. I worked way too hard, way too quickly. I was staying up really late just trying to get the projects done, but I learned that sometimes it's okay to take a break. It's okay to sit down, stop working. So
a lot of the work that I did was very tedious. I watched videos, trail cameras for hours on end. But at the end of the day, it was really worth it. I know that if I wasn't there to do the work, that there would be someone who had already a lot on their plate to do that. And it just gave me a newfound respect for people who have to work in the science field and do a lot of research.
I actually learned a lot about being confident. A lot of what I did was go around emailing, going into and talking to owners of businesses or stores, asking for fundraisers or asking for donations for fundraisers. And a lot of that was kind of going in mostly unprepared and practically asking for money. And that initially was a terrifying thing for me. Going in and talking to a man or a woman who I don't know and asking them for money. But I'm happy to say that for the most part, I did pretty well, and I was able to get a solid amount of money for the fundraisers.
Okay, and then our last question for everyone. How would you motivate others to become involved in service experiences like the one you had? What would you say to someone who's considering doing something like MillbrookEngage?
I would say do something that you're passionate for, not something that you think is going to look good or look cool. Do something that you're going to enjoy doing.
I say go for it, take a leap of faith. I think it's going to turn out to be something that you love, and you're only going to benefit from it.
I would say if you have the opportunity to, then you should, help out others. I know that we all struggle to find somewhere to work because of COVID, and in a normal year, it would be a lot easier. So if you do have that opportunity, I would say take it.
I think if you're even thinking about applying to do MillbrookEngage, you should just do it because you learn so much and you meet so many nice people and you're doing it all for a great cause.
I would say do it. It's fun. You learn so much about yourself. You're giving back to people in your own community. There's nothing really negative that you can get from this experience.
I would say similarly to what Elijah said, have your profession fuel your passion. I get that scooping poop is not the most glamorous job, but if you take a step back and look at it, at what the job is as a whole, it's like a lot bigger than that.
I would say it can be really eye-opening and rewarding to give back to such a big group of people.
I think you just gotta find people and things that you care and love about, and then just ask how you can help out.
I'd say a huge motivation is working with youth, and so I think if you can work with youth, you're raising a whole new generation, so, yeah.
My piece of advice is that no service is too small. You don't have to cure cancer to make a difference in your community.
Yeah, to every student here, and especially every fifth former in here, I really think you should consider joining the MillbrookEngage program. It's an extremely unique opportunity that you're not going to find anywhere else.
I'd say it's a great opportunity to try something out of your comfort zone that you wouldn't normally do. You might gain your passion.
2 words. Do it.